which is drugs.
Texas and Mexico to train and to conduct operations against drug smugglers. Their commander was Brigadier General John Pepper. I feel like the law enforcement agencies are doing much to still the flow of illegal drugs, and in particular cocaine, into this country, especially as it flows through this region that we call the southwest border.
So I can stop right there. Southwest border, Jeremiah 23 and Hoods. You just heard it from the horse's mouth. So the cocaine that messed up our brothers and our sisters at the borders came from the southwest. We know. It's a fact. The Border Patrol just told you. So there won't be no, my brother Don Lemon saying, show me the proof. There's the proof. Unless the whole thing is a lie, the whole system. You know, nothing against Don Lemon, of course not. But I'm just saying, I remember when this issue came up, and that was a comment that was made, or something like that. Let's put it like that. The question whether the cocaine came from the South, from Colombia, Central America, Mexico, etc., FARC, the Colombian guerrillas that they cut a deal with, came to a truce recently down in Colombia. Those kind of situations, you're talking armies. And the brothers in the hood are no match for all those armies. So with drugs come guns. And with guns comes, I guess, all hell to pay. So, that's what we see in the hood. The drugs come from the border. The prosecutor, now Vice President, Mrs. Harris, did not say anything about the drugs, even though the drug that's killing people, fentanyl, something like that. That drug, by the kilos, if you get on border patrol in Mexico, you will see that the two big catches, and the last second catch was just recently 2 truckloads with methamphetamine and cocaine and fentanyl. So now when you have that kind of massive supply, and heroin, of course, are in the fields up in the mountains. Man, you got a lot of demonic stuff coming at the brothers in the hood. So who's going to stand in the gap for them? They're going to get life. They're going to get caught. And lives are destroyed. So who's going to give the fellas the job? And who's going to stop the drugs so they can create jobs like Nipsey Hussle had put out to their generation? If he left nothing else on his death, he left this message. Create your own businesses, your jobs, things that if you don't help your brother, then there won't be nothing. Brothers keepers. If you don't create it from the scratch, there won't be nothing. Not for the balance, not for the hoods that's flooded with drugs that they can't grow in their backyard. That they give life sentences, that they will not sanction this country right here. Neither will Pamela Harris, Vice President, being black and prosecuting many black males, throwing that key away for those that she did do on drug charges. Shame on any government authority. They're supposed to hold back evil, pure evil coming at the hoods. Total destruction. Go after Freeway Rick and many other big leagues. People that have just got took in. And now it's all bad, but we say nothing about it. And the man that's in authority, Romans 13:1, just told you where the drugs come from. Fact.
I believe that without the application of the resources that we provide to them,
Sorry about that. Hope I didn't lose it. Yeah, I think I did. Okay, so I'm going to take it from there. But just going from there and knowing that there's so much at stake. Let's go to this clip right here and look at it.
Would be far less effective in that effort. Each night, patrols motored through the desert and set up surveillance positions. But this highly trained and well-equipped force had problems stalking their target.
You see, how far you went out? Went out about half a mile, about 3 times. This area, we didn't see anything, just a lot of rabbits.
Tonight, all that is caught in the night scope are other Marines.
You've been running into a lot of people who just looking around, parties, or whatever.
This is 1992, 3, front line. So what you think it is now that President Biden is president, and they stopped the fall, and there is, what do you think has came into this country? How much poison, how many lives were died? The Facebook ain't got nothing on this. Because this,
If the Marines had spotted
the
smugglers,
drugs today,
the
in
Marines
2021,
report the sightings to
they are allowed to come. Yes, that's oppression. Somebody makes tons of money and there's destruction. That's oppression. Can I say one word about it? That is a disgrace. And so that part right there, strong evidence. This is 93. The average, at that time, there were 362 metric tons of cocaine, 180,000 tons every 6 months in 94 and 92. YouTube it. How much dope? Put it in your phone now. Metric tons, 2.4 metric tons caught at the border, caught in Baltimore, 2.4 metric tons. Now give me a break, man. You hear what I'm saying? They have the drugs destroyed a lot of people worldwide, but in this country. And to not sanction countries that produce drugs. Hello? If you're going to make a big stink out of it, kicking in doors and putting people in private prisons where private companies like GEO made off of making private prisons. JCPenney was involved, major companies making money. Come on, why would you not look the other way? That's a bribe. I ain't heard a prophet yet say that. So can we please get some light on what oppression is? Always underground like a volcano, and then it pops up. And then it shows you what I'm really about. It comes down to it, plundering. And if it's caused plundering the poor, yeah. So don't look if you're sitting up at the top as though that's the safe place. It's how you got there. Because cause and effect, sowing and reaping and uncovering has great intensity over the next 10 years. It's 2021. You don't want to look like a fool. Be humble. Give to the poor and not oppress them. And look the other way for bribe.
Bavarian authorities. Legally, they are not allowed to make arrests. At the end of this 2-month, $660,000 operation, the Marine sightings had led to only 4 marijuana seizures and none of cocaine.
Could it be they were moving underground? Because we can go to a clip and they'll show you metric tons. How many metric tons came through in 93? And somewhere in 6 months, they know 180,000 metric tons. Total was over 250,000. That's a lot of metric tons. Now, had it been uranium, they would have stopped. Let me see. Hard to explain this, huh? But what are we going to do? Because the drugs...
Drugs may be the most important activities. Our government cannot stop the flow of drugs into this country.
Not to work. Not as long as people still want to pay high prices for cocaine.
Tonight, 2020 takes you to the front lines of this war, where you'll meet federal drug enforcement agents working against told that we can win this war if we make enough arrests, if we put enough people in jail. But the reality is that that part of the drug war is having little effect.
Matter of fact, the companies like CEO, or CEA, excuse me, they made money. They built private prisons and made profit per head. When you have that, and the drug's still moving, and everyone saying praise the Lord, you hear, well, we're doing a great job in capitalism, but yet there's undercover genocide. There is catastrophic consequences when you break universal laws. Talk to the tree.
Take this morning's headlines. Attorney General Meese hailing the climax of federal drug agents' largest undercover investigation ever. But we've had years of the biggest drug bust ever. The drug pipeline cannot be plugged. And tonight, we'll tell you some things the government won't tell.
Because this is one of the most important issues of our time, we're devoting a whole hour to it. First, we're going to see what the agents of the Drug Enforcement Administration are up against. It's a lot more than you might have thought. Fighting from the jungles of South America to the streets of New York City. Stone Phillips and a 2020 team spent months with U.S. agents on the front line, and it's through their eyes that we look now at this war that we are losing.
It's an incident that U.S. drug agent Victor Cortez relives over and over in his mind. He had been in Guadalajara, Mexico, just 8 months, investigating the murder of a fellow drug agent when a Mexican police officer approached his car window. It was not a routine traffic stop. The next thing he knew, Cortez was ordered into a car at gunpoint, driven through the streets of Guadalajara to police headquarters, and locked in a cell.
After they blindfolded me, they told me to strip, and I think there was probably 8 to 10 people coming into this cell, and it was in this cell that I was tortured.
Tortured at the hands of fellow law enforcement officers, a lesson in the power of drug money to corrupt.
This is close to peacetime wars you're going to get. And the amount of deaths involved are probably higher if you want to tally up all the murders and agents shot, cops killed, guys tortured to death. Man, this is peacetime.
Not to mention the corruption in the Compton Police Department in the 80s. Also, you had your LAPD, of which they were corrupt on a sting operation and showed the police officers getting busted. Put it in your YouTube. Compton, they had to deal with the whole police department in order to rid the drug thing. They had to replace the whole department. So you had corruption. Where was the profits then? You hear me? In other words, these sins might, what you see on the tree that everyone's hollering about sins, might not be the real root of the problem. The problem could have came from oppression from the beginning of the nation. And that sin has to be confessed and forsaken, at least in the salt or the. I appeal to the church that you would rid yourself of every evil act of covetousness and every evil thought of greed. That is to say, if you're over people and they're struggling financially, please don't make merchandise of them in your mind and think that one member is designed to get help and none of the other members deserve as a family and one body to receive any help in the natural way. Balance. Joshua 1, Deuteronomy 14, Deuteronomy 15, Deuteronomy 26, Malachi 3, 10, and 11, 2 Corinthians 8, 9. And therefore, any kind of giving, not because I'm saying so, will bring you more in alignment as a collective group to shine when we see that people are caught in these traps, trying to get money and bring oppression. And, you know, you're helping people like in Detroit when the people, GM Motors left Detroit and went and made money. After it made money, it made a middle class, at least an African American it would. And then left and the drugs came flowing in. And Mexico itself grows heroin, meth, and the coca from Colombia has to move through there. So it's Central America, South America, Peru, Colombia. They got armies, FARC. So your brethren are up against that kind of warfare. If you're African American and you say you're a leader, well, the way I would suggest is that you reach them is by helping their relatives that go to your churches in the area of necessities as the Lord leads you. It's just law, and that would be a witness to their family members that's caught up into all this madness by the trickery, cunning craftiness of the enemy. And you'll be answering an objection on the table. These cats, one thing they will do, and when they're in a loyal, the gangs, at least in South Central LA, that I knew, they have changed, but still, they will help each other. And that part, the church has to demonstrate clearly in America that we also have the same care one for another, and let it be documented and proof by their relatives when they come to our churches and they have necessities. The other family members know all about it. And at some point, they got to see the fig tree give back life. That is, meet the need, not relatives stepping in. God sure he uses people outside of the church. But why can't the family provide with the family? We're not infidels. So the bottom line is that would be a good witness into the conversation, unless you can prove me wrong, because oppression is real. General Motors didn't care about those people. Capitalists don't care about God's people. At any moment they can cross it. Do we have each other's back would be the opportunity to shine that light. In the midst of these drugs, what they're trying to do is take care of each other. Cartels on down to the hoods. Can't find jobs. Felons, what about that? That's oppression. So you've got to look at that and making merchandise our people in penitentiaries. The church has to answer for a lot in the African American hoods. And we better be serious about it, man, because over the next 10 years, things are going to get worse. Just look at the rents, inflation, and what's coming of the massive baby boomers that's coming out of town.
Agent Michael Levine is a 22-year veteran, confronting the odds on the streets of New York City, where even a routine drug raid requires full combat gear.
This is a state where there is no death penalty, and the penalty for possession of more than 3 ounces of cocaine is life in prison. So what the hell's the difference? If you kill an agent, if you kill a cop, or you get arrested for free, same penalty.
So far this year, 4 DEA agents shot. 2 have died.
It is unfortunate that such young men have to give up their lives in order to get the message across that we as a society should get serious about the drug problem. We are the people on the front lines. We are willing to take the risks. We cannot afford to throw up our hands and surrender.
These are the soldiers in the war on drugs, a war declared here in Washington.
But who's over them? And why is the Biden administration ignoring the drugs at the border as we speak? You know, that's like asking, why did they send the Haitians over to back to Haiti knowing that it was about to blow up? Or why did Clinton create a crime bill? And why does it seem like when it comes down to drugs, why does the Democrats seem like they where's the plan on taking out the drugs right now? Where's the plan on President Biden's watch? They know fentanyl is coming over those borders. We got huge bugs. And I wish I could find that clip for you, but I'm going to let him continue in this.
But despite a sweeping new anti-drug bill passed shortly before the 1986 elections, agents on the line say the simple reality has not and will not change. They say they are outmanned, outspent, and outgunned by the enemy.
We're looking for some labs in this area. Once we find the lab, we'll come down and we'll execute the raid.
Tom Zepeda was sent to Bolivia by the U.S. State Department to destroy the cocaine labs in the biggest coca-producing region in the world, armed with 1 helicopter and an ill-equipped team of Bolivian recruits, an exercise in futility.
Any idea how many of these labs there are out here?
I'm talking hundreds.
Yeah, we're talking hundreds. To give you an idea, last month we were averaging between 12 and 16 factories per day. Showing you.
As fast as Zepeda destroys these remote laboratories,
Now that's where the coca come from. We're the ones that get plagued with it. It's armies in the jungles in Colombia, FARC, Google it. And those particular things are, all this is done hidden. All this is done without even discussing it at your voting thing. It will be discussed this next election. and it was brought out by President Trump. But you know, Trump, as far as the African American community, the fathers that already are doing time for these drugs, guess what? They're going to get life, and then they'll be, you can just say, wipe them on up, because they'll be for drugs and guns now. Wow, good job, Mr. Biden, for not stopping them at the border and cutting them off. And I don't know, man, the victims of poverty and oppression are penalized to the fullest. So by them not doing nothing, if a conservative president, we can predict, get in there, you probably can't even read about how many doors got kicked in, maybe Detroit, SWAT all over again in every inner city. So it gets bad, not good. The drugs should be dealt with, and therefore then you can create jobs, Nipsey Hussle, and have something set up for the balance. The black people have to do it for their own people, or else you will be destroyed in a destruction. Many of our people will perish. And over the next 10 years, do something about it by being salty, preserving, by helping the family members. I appeal to the churches again, that go to your churches, whose loved ones are involved in drugs, and you match the culture, conscious. One thing about, they're trying to make money to take care of their family. The cartels are trying to make money to take care of their family. Everyone's in it for survival, especially fellas in the inner cities and the hoods. So you show at church that you also, we give and got each other's back. We got grandma's back, auntie's back, sister's back, sister left foot, brother front foot, everyone in here that got necessities. You look for the opportunity, members, as you give your tithes and offerings, and you can distribute to some of the necessities of the saints as the Lord leads you practical, according to his word, Deuteronomy 14, 15, Deuteronomy 26, Malachi 3, 10 and 11, 2 Corinthians 8 and 9. And it's applicable also for the members that have not received any honor in the area of finance. We bestow more honor, so that there be no schisms or divisions or respect of persons. And when they see we have the same care for one another, and we are keeping his commandment, we say, by the love that you show for one another, and that's not a be warm, be filled, let me pray for you, brother, and there might be necessities and no communication and ready to distribute. Sometimes it's just straight getting real and finding out what's going on. COVID-19, lack of jobs, a lot of opportunities over the next 10 years to be big time givers. That is to say, big time meaning we do it as unto the Lord. And if we do it to the least of one of these, his brother, we've done it to him. It's just being a witness to their family members about, hey, we got each other's back. You don't have to sell drugs. You can come over here, and Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit, Yeshua, the Son of God, sending his spirit in their hearts, will be able to transform from the inside out. It's just bait. It's going fishing. What is the season? Commonality, neutrality, tough times, inflation. So now if we give in the season of the next 10 years, we can glorify God and cause thanksgiving to come to him. For when a person receives, they become joyful, cheerful. And when you switch people and shift people through giving and having the same care, the witness of the Spirit, that giving, like God so loved, he gave, got a person's attention. Now you earn the right to speak into their lives. And then they can have faith. And faith come by hearing, not be warm, be filled, have faith in God, and I don't have your back. That family has to be shown to their family. They're doing it for survival. So we do it to witness unto the nations that we are a family, a peculiar people, a holy nation, and we do it as unto the Lord in fear and trembling. God bless you, Isaiah 58.